Right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending MCE, an overview of MCE's low carbon fuel standard pilot, uh, where we will explain how MCE can help you access the benefits of the low carbon fuel standard market. This is a brief agenda. First, we'll give an overview of the low carbon fuel standard market and how that can help you generate credits to offset the costs of vehicle charging. I will then give an overview of the low carbon fuel standard pilot that MCE is going to be launching soon. Then we will go into the participation requirements for interested customers, and then the benefits of participation, and then key next steps to engage with MCE on this pilot. So first off, let's start with an overview of low carbon fuel standard. This standard is a key part of California's programs to cut greenhouse gas emissions and other toxic air pollutants from the transportation sector. It was included under the original AB 32 scoping plan. And then the key takeaway here is it was designed to decrease the carbon intensity of fuels and provide a range of low carbon and renewable alternatives to gas and diesel. So how does this work? Fuels are assessed based on their life cycle greenhouse gas emissions and other criteria of pollutant emissions to calculate a carbon intensity. This is then compared against the benchmark that is set under the program, and the benchmark declines each year of the program. How this works is that if your fuel has a carbon intensity score that is below the benchmark, you will generate credits. And if you are above the benchmark, you will need to purchase credits. So if you are a fuel producer, you need to demonstrate the mix of fuels that you supply to the California market are below the carbon intensity benchmark or at or each year. If you generate a deficit, then you'll need to ensure that the credits generated, sorry, one second here, generated or you acquire credits from another party equal to or greater than your deficit. And of course, if you generate net credits under the market, these can be monetized and sold to other parties, generating a revenue stream. And so the key takeaways here is that charging electric vehicles with zero carbon intensity electricity is a net generator of credits under this market, and these can be monetized. And MCE is going to help you get paid for these credits. Within this program, we're offering 11 cents per kilowatt hour for the duration of the pilot. So now I'll get into the pilot that MCE has developed. This pilot was developed in response to several challenges to participating in this market. First off, it is administratively burdensome to register and get your fuel pathways approved to actually determine if the fuel you are delivering is below the declining benchmark. Secondly, there's quarterly and annual reporting requirements, which requires staff time and often requires a dedicated staff person to help meet the compliance obligations. And then lastly, and probably most importantly for most customers, it's actually challenging to generate credit lots that are large enough to gain some interest on the market and actually sell those to earn a revenue stream. So here's the opportunity that MCE's identified for participation. First off, our deep green product is a certified zero carbon intensity pathway. Secondly, MCE can be leveraged to help support credit monetization for customers. And then lastly, given our role as a load serving entity, we can help pool credits and monetize them on the market. So this pilot we've developed is going to be run for approximately 9 months, starting July 1st of 2021 and running through March 31st of 2022. We're asking for customers that are interested in participating in this pilot to commit to assigning their credits to MCE for the duration of their participation, which is for 9 months. And then we're asking that you will participate in up to 4 brief quarterly surveys, likely just one survey at the end of your participation in the pilot. So to participate, it's rather simple with five steps here. So first off is we're going to ask customers to assign their low carbon fuel standard credits generated over to MCE. MCE will then handle the reporting and administration of the credits with the Air Resources Board. And then for the duration of the pilot, MCE will pay 50% of the revenue estimated to be generated from the proceeds back to the customers. And then we will use any remaining funds after brokers' fees to fund further electric vehicle adoption programs in our service territory. And then the payments for the credits you generate will be received at the end of the calendar year. To participate in the pilot, first off, this is available only to a very limited number of commercial, multifamily, and public agency sites that we've invited to this webinar. We will also, your electric vehicle charging stations also have to be networked, but there's no limitation on what the charging rate or capacity is. So we will allow level 1, level 2, and level 3 chargers so long as they're networked. The meters with the EV charging on them also have to be enrolled in Deep Green, as this is our zero carbon intensity product. You will need to provide access to your EV charging platform, so MCE can download your charging data every quarter. This is partly so we can verify the actual energy dispensed, but this also reduces the administrative burden for our customers. Most importantly, your site cannot be under a charging as a service contract or under an agreement with an electric vehicle charging provider that limits your ability to transfer credits to another party. Lastly, the Air Resources Board asks participants to report how those credit proceeds are being used to support transportation electrification. So getting into the benefits of your participation, the most important, of course, is that you'll receive payments for the credits you're generating, valued at 11 cents per kilowatt hour dispensed from your chargers. The other benefit is reduced administrative burden. You will assign your credits to MCE, notify your existing charging provider, and an MCE will handle the rest, including registration of your fuel supply equipment with the Air Resources Board, the quarterly and annual reporting requirements, as well as renewable energy credit retirement requirements. And then finally, we'll help monetize the credits and provide those funds back to the customer. And lastly, to reduce the risk of your participation, for the duration of this pilot, MCE will be paying a flat rate per kilowatt hour for the credits you generate, regardless of whether or not MCE monetizes those credits and regardless of what the market price of those credits is. Following the pilot, and as we expand this program, we will move to basing the credit price based on the actual price set within the low carbon fuel standard market. As an example, here's how a customer with 20 enrolled chargers behind a single submeter will benefit from this pilot. So say you dispense 10,000 kilowatt hours during for the duration of the pilot. These credits, or sorry, this electricity will be valued at 11 cents per kilowatt hour dispensed. And so for 10,000 kilowatt hours, a customer will expect to receive $1,100 at the end of the pilot. And so to participate, we're asking that you reach out to engagement@mcecleanenergy.org with the intention to participate and let MCE know of any additional approvals your organization may need before you participate. Then please review the documents provided and provide your fuel supply equipment information by June 1st to maximize the credits you can generate in the third quarter of 2021. When you sign those agreements, you will also need to notify your existing provider of credit assignment, as there is generally a 30-day clock between when you notify your existing provider and when you can assign those credits to another party. And then, of course, the pilot launch will start at the next reporting period, starting July 1st of 2021. So we will be sending out 2 documents for you to review. The first is the Low Carbon Fuel Standard Participation and Credit Transfer Agreement. And then only if applicable, we will also send over a copy of the updated MCEV program terms and conditions. With that, thank you for joining the discussion today, and I'll open up the floor to questions. Okay, as there are no questions, please reach out to Sean Sevilla or SSevilla@mcecleanenergy.org here if you have any questions about your participation in the pilot.